Oh, so the dish soap solution just kind of makes it so they can't fly?
Yeah,
Doesn't kill them or anything?
doesn't kill them.
Okay.
Unless you really soak them down, and you can sit there and keep spraying them around it. No, it typically doesn't hurt them. They just, in fact, we moved several of them that way.
Okay.
But really early in the morning, I mean, you don't want these guys to feel good.
Yeah.
You don't make them mad.
You don't want to make them
Don't
mad.
make 'em
Don't
mad.
make 'em mad.
And as soon as you start squirting water, they're mad.
And that works on that will work on those big red ones too, right? It
Yeah,
works on
I
any
would
of them?
suggest if it's red wasp, I'm gonna
I'd kill
kill
them.
those.
Okay.
They hurt like that.
Oh, I know they do.
Yeah. And if they're in the wrong place.
Well, they always want to build on my porch. On the
Oh, there is
yellow-
something you
yellow
can
jackets.
do to stop that. You can paint your porch bee blue. And they will
Bee
not.
blue?
Bee blue. Go to the paint and say, I want some bee blue. And they know exactly what it is. It's lighter than baby blue. It's lighter than your shirt. Let's see, who's got a baby blue? It's real light.
She almost has a baby blue.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah,
still too
it's
dark.
lighter
It's
than-
even lighter than that. It's
Well,
almost
can
white.
Can you just take white paint and can they just drip some blue in there
Mhm.
to make it extremely light?
Extremely light, and they will not build on that.
Good.
Any
A lot
one.
of that works with
Any wasp.
birds too. We had some
Mhm.
barn swallows, and they don't build on it.
They don't like that color at all.
And that's what Donna is swap. I'm going to tell her, because she has, my daughter, they have a porch and those swallows, they build on all the posts
Mhm.
up there. And she was wondering how she could get rid of that. Maybe I have to tell her, because it's white, the
Good.
roof. So if I tell her to do that with the blue.
Mhm.
She doesn't mind the birds as bad. They want to sit on the porch. The birds get mad
Mhm.
because they're sitting on the porch. So they can really raise a ruckus too.
It's kind of like mockingbird nest. That's one that, you know, mama's fine when she's building her nest. She's fine dealing with you. And as soon as those babies are born, boy, you better wear a hat every time you walk out of that house. She's coming after you. Any other problems? That's when you turn the light.
Okay, I'll go back here.
Yeah, because the lights are on all night until the property owner
Then
turns
you
off.
open up the door and they all
Mhm.
Mhm.
come in.
Well, the thing to do is turn off the lights before you walk out the door.
I don't have any control of those out there.
Um,
So I just duct tape that door and use the front door for
Mhm.
about 2 or 3 months.
yeah,
That's what I can put out there for.
Not a thing. Not a thing. In fact, what's the outlet stores, not Tanger, but the other one, Prime Outlets in San Marcos. I started dealing with that problem 20 years ago when they built their shops out there. All those fields around that place, crickets were coming in, and literally in the morning, they would have people out there with buckets, garbage cans and shovels and dig and just
Oh,
horrible.
Yummy.
I mean, fill up a garbage can, 32-gallon garbage can, 45-gallon garbage can.
Oh my God.
With crickets every day, every day.
Jeez. And they smell bad
And
too.
they
They don't
smell
smell
horrible.
good at all.
What's their natural predator, or what naturally feeds on
Birds. Well, birds, yeah. What
That's it?
happens is, if in wet years, they drown. So you don't have a whole lot of them. In dry years, there's just millions of them because there's nothing to take them out. Kind of like grasshoppers, same thing. In wet years, the grasshoppers die. In dry years, they don't. So
And can you do something about grasshoppers too?
there's Nolo bait, which works real well.
What bait?
Nolo, N-O-L-O, Nolo bait. And the problem with grasshoppers is when the wind blows, they move the grasshoppers.
Yeah.
But I've got 64 acres, and I've tried Nolo bait. Just put it out in the section on the southeast corner, because the wind blows from the southeast most of the time. And you have to put it out early in the year. What happens is the young ones come and they eat the bait, and they die, and the next grasshopper comes along and eats that grasshopper, and it dies. And it keeps going on because these grasshoppers are cannibalistic. And so you keep repeating the cycle over and over and over. The wonderful thing about that is if you get it started and started well, you only have to put out the Nolo one time. And I've had people say, well, you know, you still have grasshoppers, and I say, but you wouldn't believe what my neighbor has. And you
And
go,
they eat anything.
yeah, you can go a few hundred yards over from my place, and, you know, you can count the grasshoppers crawling up your leg. It's that bad. You come to my place, just a few hundred yards away, and you don't see that many grasshoppers. It doesn't take them all out, but it takes enough of them out. And you have to start it about right now. Actually, it'd be better if you'd started it already. But I put it out every year, and it's worked real well for me.
How do you keep it dry?
How do I keep it dry? I put it out when it's dry.
When it's just dry?
When I know there's going to be 2 or 3 days in a row that it's low humidity and it's going to be dry, and I'll put it out, and they'll find it.
Because I think these mild winters, it's not killing all the grasshoppers.
It doesn't have anything to do with the winter.
Oh, really? I thought they always.
No, that's old folks'
Oh,
tales. It just doesn't happen. It has to do with what microbes are in the soil and how those microbes are activated. And in places that there's a whole lot of heavy farming, they kill all the microbes on top of the soil. So,
and that's where I live, where they farm.
yeah. If you take care of your soil, you don't have, you know, that's the problem with the locust infestations, you know, that go back in the time. You read about locust infestations, and anytime you're overgrazing, you get that problem. Anytime desertification comes along, you get that problem. These grasshoppers or locusts, same situation. Yes, sir.
Mosquitoes.
I was just
Oh,
thinking that.
mosquitoes.
Purple martins.
No, actually, swallows are much better
Oh,
than
really?
purple
Are they?
martins. 10 times better.
Oh, wow.
And bats.
Oh, yeah, bats.
You know, invite bats, and the most important thing to do, of course, is dump all the water, make sure it doesn't hang around where stagnant water is. Repellents are really good. There's several plants that are repellents. Lemongrass is a good repellent. You can buy one of those little citronella type plants, but any plant that contains citronella is good to repel mosquitoes. Now, it only repels a certain type of mosquito. There are 5 types of mosquitoes that we have in our area. There's actually 19 in the U.S., but there's 5 that are predominant in our area. And they bite different parts of the body. Believe it or not, yeah. You stand. How do we know this? We had people that stood naked. They paid them to stand naked and get bit by mosquitoes. I'm not joking.
In the world.
I'm not joking.
Tax dollars to work.
They release these mosquitoes and saw what parts of the body they bit. And if they bite the ear, it's one mosquito. If they bite behind the leg, that's another mosquito. If they bite certain parts of the body, those certain mosquitoes. Some mosquitoes work real well when you suppress CO2 or you add extra CO2 to your place. So if you want to distract mosquitoes from you, you go out and you get some dry ice and you put it over in the corner, and most of those mosquitoes are going to the dry ice. And when they don't find something to eat over there, they get confused because they've got this CO2, and that's what they're coming from, is our breath.
Right, right.
But other mosquitoes, again, are not repelled by that or attracted to that. They're coming over and they're biting different parts of your body. So you have to know, you know, the ones that get me are usually right here at my farm. And then I get some different times in the night too, you can tell. Early part of the evening, they're biting on the elbows. That's the early ones. And later in the afternoon, they're getting the ears.
Oh, I've never had one with my, yeah, they always get the lower part of my leg, but I have a.
That's a different mosquito.
I have a Vartex, I think it's called Vartex.
Vitex?
Vitex tree.
Mhm.
And I had heard one time that if you take, that it has oil in their leaves, and I've rubbed that on, and that's sort of like if it repels them, it
It
doesn't.
repels them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
you
it
can-
doesn't bother my skin either.
You don't have to rub it on yourself. You can
Do I just have to hold it,
simply
or just
rub
crush
it,
it?
crush it, and throw it around the yard. And they make a lot of leaves, so just crush them up
I
and
never
throw them
thought
in
of
the
doing
yard.
that.
The lemongrass is real good, but it has to, again, you have to take a broom and whack the lemongrass if you're gonna be
Get that
outside.
smell out.
And it's only gonna protect that area where you can smell lemongrass. So there's a number, and again, that only protects against one type of
And one
mosquito.
time.
What
So you have to
if
do all these different things.
what if you wear essential oil like lemongrass?
That's very helpful. In fact, I like bug off. There's a cactus